In previous class, we have discussed about the different type of operators that is present in pseudocode, like arithmetical and the relational operator we covered. Basically, arithmetical operator is used to do the arithmetical operation like plus, minus, division, multiplication. Then here, this one is the special symbol that we're using. It is called as the modulus operator. Okay, so remember it. This is called as the your modulus operator. Okay, modulus operator work is to show the remainder. For showing the remainder, this modulus operator is used. And these are called as the relational operator. Equals to, greater than, less than, you are already known in your mathematics. Here not equals to we're using, then greater than equals to. So when you write here, just I'm giving an example. See that if I pass here a equals to 5, that means in a location I am storing the value 5. If I write here a is equals to 5, that means uh, we have to check whether the value of a is equals to 5 or not. Means you have to check whether your value is equals to 5 or not. That we have to. Yes, tell me.
No, you were just not talking. That's
Yes. Okay. Okay. So a is, are you there?
yes, I'm here.
Okay. So a is equals to 5. A is equals to 5 means we store a in 5. And if I write a equals to 5, that means I will check whether the value of a is equals to 5 or not. So that is the difference between equals and equals operator. Equals operator, it is called as the initialization. You can say it is initialization, or you can say here it is assignment. Here it is called as the for checking condition. It is used for checking condition. A equals to 5 means it called as the initialization, means we store the value and we assign the value. A equals to 5 means we'll check that whether the value of a is equals to 5 or not. Is that clear, Sri?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Then now we go for the logical operator. So in the logical operator we have and, or not operator. So in and operator we're using, or we're comparing the two statement. It is a comparison operator. So in the case of and operator, or programmatically it is defined this and symbol, double and symbol. So programmatically you can define in this symbol. It is comparing the two statement, or two more than one statement. Okay, so here we have to take the example by taking the two statement. Suppose if your first statement is true and second statement is true, if two statement is true, then it return you true. When you compare the value, if your first statement is true, second is false, so it return you false. In the case of when two statement is false, then it is return you false. So and operator tells you that if both the condition are true, it return you true value. So if both condition is true, it returns true value. Got it? And operator?
Yes, I got.
Okay. Then in the case of or operator, it is evaluating again the two statement. If true, true, it return you true. If true, false, is return you false. Sorry, if true, false, return you true. If false, false, returns you false. Means the or operator tells you that if any one condition is true, it returns true value. If any one condition is true, it return you true in the case of or operator. Understood this logic?
Yes, but can you explain and to me one more time?
Yes. In true, in and operator, what happened? It will check the two condition. You have to compare the two condition. In and operator, if both the logic are true, means if both the statements are true, then it return you true value. If any one condition is false, it return you false in the case of and operator. And operator is saying that when you compare the two statement must be true. In or statement, if any one condition is true, it is not asking you all the condition is true. If any one condition is true, it return you the true value. We go for it. The example, check here. In number 1, in num1, we store 7. In num2, we store the 6. Okay. Now, we're using and operator. if norm1 is equals to 7, number 1 is equals to 7. Yes or no?
Yes.
And in number 2, what value is stored? 6. The 6 is greater than 5.
Yeah. No.
Okay. So here,
Yes. It
okay.
is greater.
So here it is true. Here also it is true. True and true, it return you true. Okay. Clear?
Yes. Clear.
Now check in the OR case what happened. In number 1 you store 7. In number 2 you have stored 6. Acha, now you have to check. Number 1 is equals to 7. Number 1 is value is 7.
Yes, it is.
And number 2 is 6. Now the condition has given 6 is less than 5.
No.
So see that here you pass number 1 is equals to 7. It is true. In our case, number 2 is less than 5. It becomes false. True and false, it becomes true. If we're comparing the two statement, but one condition is false, but another is true. When another is true, it return you the true value. Okay.
Okay.
And in not case, it is evaluate only one statement. There is no requirement for comparing the two statement. If one condition is true, it return you false. If one condition is false, it is return you true. It is a vice versa. If it is if your condition is true, then it is return you false. If your condition is false, it is return you true. And it is evaluate only one statement. That is evaluate to true if the condition is not met here. Okay, so number 2 is less than equals to 5. So it is return you true here. As number 2 is 6, the 6 is less than 5. No. 6 is equals to 5. No, but we are using not here. No means no, not is yes. So it is showing you true. Got it?
Just got it.
Okay. Now I move to not operator. That is a exclamation is a not operator. So if it is compare one statement, if it is true, return you false. If it is false, is return you true. That is the not operator. So these are the three logical operator we're using. One is and, or, not. Okay. So these are the three logical operators we're using.
Okay.
And it is called as the precedence. When you are using not and or together in a statement, then first priority is going to not operator, then it comes to the and operator, last is or. The highest priority is goes to not, then it comes to and, then it comes to or. So here it is a one exercise that write a pseudocode to accept the 5 number and display the highest number. Can you do this? So I am showing you the simple question answer. You have to take the two number and find out which one is the greater. So I write the pseudocode here. The pseudocode is starting from which statement? Tell me. Three.
Oh, sorry. It's begin.
Yes. Start with begin and ends with which statement?
And
End. Then I am giving you tags that you have to find out which number is greater between the two number. Then how many location is required or how many variable is required? Yes. For storing
what,
two. Tell me.
2.
Yes, two. And I'm asking what? You have to take the two number. Then what is your data type? How many data types are there?
Wait. 2, I think.
I already tell you we have a container, then we have to define what type of value that you have to store. For defining what type of value will be stored, then we define the data type. So how many data types are there?
2.
Yes, two data type. What is that?
Do you know what is there?
Yes, again.
What do you mean? What is there?
Data type. Data type means means when you giving a information to the system. So the information is how many type? One is completely string or completely letter or combination of letter and number, which is defined as character. Another is
What?
only number. Okay, so that is called as the word numeric. So here we have to define the two memory location.
Okay.
So that two memory location, in that two memory location, we store the two numeric value. Okay, so that you have to first define the data type. For defining a numeric data type, we have to write numeric in num1, then in num2. Okay, so here we define two memory location. Then it is asking you that you have to input some value. So here we have to mention display enter a number. Then it is asking you enter a number. Then to store the value in the variable, which statement is used?
Wait. So this accept number.
Yes. So we use accept in num1. Good. then again display, enter second number. In num2. Just a minute. Okay, then we accept a number. Then for checking the condition for the conditional construct, just wait.
Sorry, what?
Okay. Then for checking condition, we're using here if statement. If is used for checking the conditional statement in the pseudocode. So if n num1 is greater than n num2, it will check the condition. Then here we write here begin and end. So in the if block, it is also contain begin and end block. So if your value is greater than number 2, then it is display the first number is greater. If the first number is not greater, then it is moving to else part, else block. In else block, again we write here begin, end, we display the second number is greater. Suppose in num1, suppose you take the input from user. If num1 is equals to 20, in num2, if you given here 16, then what happened? Display enter a number and we given here 20, it will store in number 1. Display enter second number, so we are given here 16, that is accept a number. Then for checking a condition, we are using if and else block. If block, else block we are using. So here we given a condition. If the number you are given here if it is greater than number 2. So 20 is greater than number 2, correct? Then it displays number is greater. If in number 1, if you give here 50, and in number 2, if you give here 100, then what is the result? So if number 1 is greater than number 2, the condition becomes false. Then it is going to the else part. So it is showing you the second number is greater. Understood this one? Hello?
Yes, hello?
You understood this one, this program?
Yes, I have, but I don't,
Now again I repeat.
no, I don't know if I can do it.
Okay, it is this part is clear, or I will repeat just one again.
No, it's
It's-
clear.
Okay, good. Okay, so here for checking a condition, we're using if and else block. So already in the syntax, we know that for checking a condition, we're using if and else block. So for condition checking, if you your program is of three type, one is sequential, decision making, another is iterative. For checking the conditional part, we're using the construct, or the way of representing the conditional part, we're using if. You can write here conditional construct. So in conditional construct, we're using simple if, only if, then if else, another is switch case. So these are the three parts we're using for conditional checking. Uh, Now I move to that part. Okay, so while writing a pseudocode, you can check for condition by using decision making construct. Okay, so what are the decision making construct we're using? One is if construct, another is switch case construct. So these are the two construct we are using for decision making. Okay, now in if construct, it specify the conditional expression. Okay, for the conditional expression, it contains the three parts. One is simple if construct. There is no else block. Means if your condition is false, nothing will be displayed. If your condition is true, then the if block is executed. So that we're having if and else block. Means the example that I have shown you, find out the greater between the two numbers. Means first of all, you have to check the condition. If your condition is true, then the statement is executed. If your condition is false, then else block is executed. Then nested if else. Okay, so in a condition, in a one condition, you have to include another condition. So that is a if and else construct. So three conditional construct we are using for checking a condition. One is simple if, one is nested if else, another is only if else, another is nested if else. So when you go for a checking condition in a pseudocode, a condition can be evaluated using simple if construct. If condition, if condition, if your condition is true, the condition that you have given here, if it is true, then statement within the begin and end block is executed. If your condition is true, then statement within the begin and end block is executed. Clear? Three?
Yes.
Is it clear? The if construct, why it is used?
Yes, kind of.
Any doubt in this part?
Not really.
No?
No, not really.
Okay. Now here, it has given an example for checking whether the two numbers are equal or not. Okay, so for checking whether the two numbers are equal or not, you have to define the two variable for checking the equality, number one and number two. And here you have to give a condition. Okay, now I will write this part for checking the condition. Here I have to write one example, another example to check the two numbers entered by user is equals or not. So when you start with the pseudocode, what to write?
Again.
Begin. Then end. Then in this question, how many variable is required?
2.
2. Then for defining two variable, what will be your data type?
2.
Data type name. How many? Give the name of the data type.
like if for like the switch?
No, data type is what? Data type means to store the value. So your data type is of two type. So your data type is, one is your numeric, another is your
Oh, that.
character.
That.
Understood?
Yeah. That.
Okay.
So,
So which data type we have to define?
numeric, I think.
Yes, good. So here we have to define the numeric data type. Numeric, then our variable name is n num1, then n num2. So two variable we have to define here. Then it will be asking display enter first number, then accept n num1, then display enter second number, accept n num2. Then now we have to give a condition. Okay, so for checking the equality, which operator is used? Can you write in the chat box? Which operator is used for checking the equality, whether the two numbers are equal or not?
Which what? Sorry. Which what is used?
Which operator is used to check the numbers are
So
equal?
is the what can you? I'm not good at memorizing the names, but what is the operator again?
We learn about the operator, arithmetical operator, logical operator.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, he and relational operator. So for checking the equality, whether your two number is equals or not, to for checking it, which operator is used?
Mhm. So I think it might be the equality operator. Wait, I don't know. Or no, I think it actually is the algorithm of like the I forgot what it's called. It's like starts with A because it has like numbers. It's like the +1 and then the -1.
You have to use the arithmetic operator, yeah,
Yeah.
logical operator, yeah, relational operator. Which operator here it is used for checking the equality?
Oh, I think it might be the arithmetical operator because it's like has like plus right and then minus right. And
No, that is the plus plus minus minus. It is we are not reached there. Okay,
but no, it's like that only right because
you just type it. What the operator is required. Just type it.
spell it.
Write it.
I don't know how to spell it.
So it is use equal operator. Okay. Equal operator is used, so which is the
There's no
part
equal.
is double equals. Double equals is used. So we just discuss here now. If you check
Oh,
here,
the double equal. No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. You didn't say that as like an option. I know that the double equals is for checking.
good. Okay, so this one, it is used for checking condition. Like if you write only a equals to b, it is called as the initialization. And if you write here a equals to 5, it will check the a value is equals to 5 or not. Okay, so for that scenario we use here if n num1 equals to n num2 begin then end display the numbers are equal, else display okay. So here you have to check begin numeric number 1 and number 2. Suppose if you give 20, so it is accept the 20. If you write here 30, it is stored in the number 2. So is 20 is equals to 30?
No.
No. So when it is no, it comes to the else block, else part. In else part, it is display you the numbers are not equals. If you pass here number 1 is 20 and number 2 is also 20, then it is display you the numbers are equal. Okay, it is the if and else block. If number 1 is equals to if you are passing the two equal value, 20 is equals to 20, then it display you the numbers are equals. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. Do you know how to use this zoom app? You know all the operations? Yeah,
What do you mean?
mother is helping you.
What do you mean?
Uh, do you know
I know, but I know what you mean. I can hear you, but what do you mean?
how I written there?
I know, but what do you mean by that?
I just written here. Do you know how to share the screen?
Yes.
Do you know it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So when we start the practical or programmatical part, C programming, okay, so you have to share your screen and we do it What practicals? Okay, I will help you. Okay.
Okay.
Then if and else block. So three construct we are using. One is simple if, another is only if and else block we are using. The if and else construct can be represented in a pseudocode like if condition, then begin and end statement. If condition, if your condition is true, then it is displayed in the begin and end statement. Okay, that already we cover the if and if else. So here it is a pseudocode. It is helping you to check whether your number is even or odd. So can you say which number is called as the even number?
Maybe I don't think so.
Which number is even? Or what is even number? So what is even number? Hmm? Tell me which one is the even number?
I'm
Hey,
not sure
sorry,
how.
what is even number? What is even number?
Oh, it's a number that when you divide it by two, you get zero.
Yes,
And
good, good. Okay, so even number is when you divide a number and your remainder is zero, then that is called as a even number. Okay, now we move to it. The pseudocode that accept a number and find whether the number is even or odd. Display numeric n number, that is asking you enter a number, then you accept a number, and for getting the modularity or for checking the modularity, we're using number 2 is equals to 0. Okay, if number 2 is equals to 0, then it display the number is even,
okay.
or else it is showing you number is odd. Now check here, we have to define the variable begin. Numeric n num, we define a memory location here. N num 1, the display enter a number. Okay, so accept a number, so we accept one number. Suppose if it is 4, now 4 modulo 2 is equals to 0.
No.
4 modulo 2,
What does modulo mean again?
Modulo means showing the remainder part. When you divide the 4 with 2,
Oh, okay, yeah,
your remainder is 0.
yeah.
Yes. So here my condition is true. Modulo means showing the remainder part. So it is showing you, yes, display the number is even. That is display you the number is even. Now here I have checked another example. Begin numeric n number, we define a variable. If number 2 is equals to 0, the number is odd. Okay, so 9 modulo 2. So when you divide 9 with 2, the remainder is not 0. Okay, so it display you the number is odd. Clear?
Yeah.
That is the pseudocode for find out whether your 2 number is uh, is divisible by, or it is even or odd. Okay. Now we comes to here nested if else. Okay, so the pseudocode represent the nested if else. Nested if else means in a condition you have to mention another condition. Means in one condition, if it is true, then you have to check another condition here. Like if condition, you can write in this way, what is nested condition. Suppose if you have if block, if condition, begin and end. In begin and end, we include another if. Excuse me. Begin and end. Then in that if, we can include another if block. So it is called the nesting condition inside another condition is called as nested if block. Nested if else. If condition, then if your condition is true, it is going to the another if, then another if. Okay, so this process is continued. Okay, so it is called as the nested if condition. So that here it is described nested if else, begin, if condition, begin and end, else. If your condition is false, it is going to the else block. In else block again we have if and else block. Okay, so this process is continued. Condition in one condition. Now here one example has given. Consider another example where the discount percentage on a TV needs to be decided on the basis of type of TV. If your TV is CRT or C, the discount will be 5% of the selling price. Okay, if your TV belongs to the CRT category, the discount will be 5% of the selling price. SP stands for selling price. If the TV is your LCD L, then the discount will be dependent upon the size. one is 14 inches, the discount will be 8% of the selling price. For 21 inches, the discount will be 10% of selling price. Okay, then we have to represent it in the pseudocode. Okay, so just see it. Understand this question? Or again, I explain.
I think I understand it.
So it is given an uh, discount, where the discount percentage on a TV needs to be decided on the basis of TV type. Which TV type you are using? If the TV type is CRT, which is represented as C, the discount will be 5%. Okay. If the TV is LCD, then the discount will depend upon the size of the TV. So if it is 14 inches screen, the discount will be 8% of the selling price. If it is 21 inches screen, the discount is 10% of the selling price. Okay. Now we move to this part. Here begin numeric screen, N screen, then one is discount, another is selling price. Okay, then we accept here character C type, then accept C type. C type means you have to define what is your TV type. If your TV is C, means CRT, the discount will be 5%. So discount is 5% of your selling price. If the character that you are given, if it is not C, then it is going to the else part. Then in else part, it has checked if your TV type is LCD or L, then accept the screen size. Then if your TV size is L, then it is asking you that you have to enter the TV size, because if it is a LCD TV, you have to give the discount on the basis of the TV screen size. So if the TV screen size is 14, then it is execute this statement. The discount is 8%. If your TV size is not 14, it will check again condition. Is it your TV size is 21%, 21 inches? If it is true, then discount will be 10%. So if your condition is false here, it will check this condition, begin and end. Okay. If again this condition is false, then nothing will be executed. Clear? It is called the nested if else condition. Got it?
Yes, I got it. I have a question.
Yes.
So, do you, so can you put whatever variable you want for anything?
What?
Can you put whatever variable you want for anything.
You just type it. What variable you are asking? Type
Uh,
it. Type it. Type
wait,
it.
or can you put any kind of variable for anything you want? Like,
No, 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 no. For any kind of variable, any data type is not required. For numeric value, we have to take as numeric, and for character value, like here it is asking you what is the type of your TV. The type of your TV is CRT and LCD. As we are passing the character data, then here we define character data type. As the screen size is numeric, so we give as a numeric. Discount will be numeric, then it is given as a numeric. Selling price is a some kind of amount, so that is also numeric. But your name, your address, so that is all belongs to the character. So for storing that name and for storing that any address, place name, so we require this character data type. But for other value, like if you want to store a age, if you want to store the like school fees, salary information, or any kind of what measurement which is calculated in the numeric format, or the number format, that we have to store in a numeric data type. Okay, and for the name, any character related thing that you can pass in the character data type. So both are not same. Okay,
uh,
understood?
yes, I do. Excuse me.
Uh-huh.
Can I please go to a bathroom?
Yes, yes, yes.
One second.
Then next question, the consider a scenario where all the candidates have to take the two tests before appearing for an interview. A candidate is selected for the interview round based on the score of the two tests. Okay, the candidate is selected for the interview based upon the two tests. The individual score in each test should be greater than 75, and average score of the two tests should be minimum of 80%. Then a call letter for the interview is to be sent to the candidate who have been selected, and a rejection letter is to be sent to the rest. Okay, so your three condition has there. Test 1, test 2 must be greater than 75. Average is minimum of 80, means it is greater than or equals to 80%. Then the candidate is getting a selection letter, or else the candidate is getting the rejection letter. Now we go for the part. Begin numeric test 1, test 2, and average. So three variable we have defined. Test 1, test 2, and average. Accept test 1 and test 2. So we're accepting a test 1 and test 2. Then for getting the average, so average is first you have to are the two number test1 plus test2 divided by 2. Okay, two value we have stored, then we're passing here 2. Then test2 2. If test1 is greater than 75 and test2 is greater than 75, see that here we are using AND operator as because in the question it's saying you if all the condition are true, test1 is true, test1 is greater than 75, test2 is greater than 75, and average is minimum 80%, means greater than or equals to 80%. Then you can get the interview call letter or you can get a rejection letter. So numeric test1, test2 and average, accept test1 and test2. Then for getting a average, n test1 plus n test2 divided by 2. Now the condition has checked here. If test1 is greater than 75, test2 is greater than 75, and average is greater than equals to 80, then you can get a interview call letter sent. If all the three conditions are false, then your else part is executed. It is display you the rejection letter to be sent. So this else part is display if any one condition is false. Suppose test one the student you are given here 80. So we run the dry run table, then it is helping you. We start with begin. Then here the three variable we have to define. Three variable means it creates the three location test one average. Then accept test1 and test2, you accept it like 75 and 79. Then 75 plus 79 divided by 2. Okay, so you check it whether it is correct or not. We have to use.
Sorry, what should I test as if it's correct?
Yes.
Sorry, what did you ask me to do? My brother's knocking on my door.
Yes, yes. So 75 79 is 154 divided by 2 is 77. Okay.
Mhm.
Then now check here. My test 75 is greater than 75. No, 75 is not greater than 75. It is equal to 75. So my condition is false here. So when one condition has false, then there is no statement is execute. It is false.
Okay.
Then else block, it is display you a rejection letter to be sent. Then now again I will take another sample value or dry run value. So we have take the three value test1, test2. Now check here. Test1 is greater than 75. Yes. Test2 is greater than 75. Tell me.
Yes.
Yes. Then 84, 80 and 84 average is 82. So 82 is greater than equals to 80.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes. So all the condition are true. If all the condition are true, it gives you interview call letter to be sent. Okay.
Okay.
Understood this part?
Yes.
Then we're using switch case construct. The switch case construct is used when a variable needs to be compared with the multiple value to make a decision. It enables you to make a decision by selecting from a number of choices. It's just like that when you are going to the restaurant. In the restaurant, uh, you just what check the menu. So after checking the menu, then you are ordering the food. So, and when you are doing any kind of shopping, okay, so in that shopping, you have to first check the website, and lot of what categories are present, like the dress materials, mobile phone. So from that list, you have to select one. Okay, and switch case is saying that suppose what you want. Suppose I'm going to the restaurant, so I will check that item that I need, that is present or not. If that item has present, then I am ordering. If that item has not present, then the restaurant manager or the person those are present here, they're telling you that today this item is not available, but today the special item, it is a restaurant special item is available, so you have it. The switch case is just like that. So you have to take some value and check with the multiple condition. If your value is matched with any part or any condition, then it is showing you the true, or else it is showing you it is what the value that you have taken, it will match with the every case statement or every items. If that value is not matched, then there is a default statement is present in the switch case that will execute. Okay, if any condition has not matched, then it is moving to the default part. In a switch case, the switch contain multiple case statement where you have to check it whether it is match or not. Okay, the if it is match, then there is no need to go for searching. It's just like searching it's just like searching one data. Okay, so or searching one information, um, until you are not getting that information, you have to check it with others. And once you got that information, then there is no need to check. Like when you're searching for a phone number, okay, when you are searching for a phone number, till you are not got that number, you are searching in the phone number list. Once you got that number, then there is no need to check. Okay, so when you check, you are typing in the contact number list, or you are speaking that open that contact number or call to that somebody. If your voice is not matched, it is searching. Okay, once it got that number or got the person name, then the search is stop at that timing. Okay, so
Okay.
in the switch case, there is a statement we're using that is called as a break statement. So when the break is required, once you are getting your result, so there is no need to search again. Suppose you have 2000 contact number in your mobile, and you are searching for one record. You are searching for one record. If your record has not you are searching for the record and you are getting that record, then um, you got that record in the 10th number of position. Okay, once you got the number from the 10th number of position, then there is no need to search again from after 10. So in that cases we are using break statement. The break statement is used to stop the flow of execution once you got your result. Clear? What is switch case and break? Say,
Hello?
yes.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, hello.
Hello? 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 Hello?
It is clear. Switch case.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, you're frozen.
Hello.
Uh,
Hello. Now it is clear. Hello. Is it clear? Now is it clear? Hello. Hello. Just a minute. Check now. It gives you the option to check or to match the value, and default is used. If your value is not matched, then it is going to the default statement. Okay, got it?
okay. Yes, got it.
The switch expression then begin case constant 1. Okay, so you have to take a value, then case constant 1. If your value is matched with the case statement, then there is no need to go case 2 statement. Okay, then if your value is not matched with case 1, case 2, case 3, then it is going to the case 4. So when your value is not matched with any case statement, case 1 it is not matched, case 2 it is not matched, case 3 it is not matched, case 4 it is not matched, then it moves to the default statement. The default statement is used if any one condition has not matched, then your default statement is executed. Okay, so default is a statement. If any one condition is not matched, then default is executed here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so today we have covered the if else part, the conditional construct of the pseudocode, and we learn about some kind of exercises, if and else, then switch case. Okay, where you have to check the list of item, means you have to take a value and check with the multiple list, and if your value is matched, then the particular case statement is execute. Once you got the result in a case statement, then the break statement is appear, so which is stop the flow of your execution if a condition has not matched. And the switch case is also saying that if the value that you have taken it is not matched with any case statement, then your default statement is executed. And in conditional part we learn about the conditional part is used for checking a condition. For checking a condition we have three conditional construct. One is simple if, next is if else, another is switch case. So three construct we are using. One is simple if else, another is switch case. So we go through that. If contain the three part: if else and nested if else. In the nested if else, condition within the another condition within the another condition we are used. To avoid the nested condition, when you are using nested condition, it make the confusion to write the program, where if else, if else, if else. So it makes you confusion. To avoid that kind of situation, we're using, if you want to check the multiple condition, you have to use a logical operator. So the logical operator that we learned, and or not operator. If you want to be all the condition is true, then it is giving you the result, then we're using and operator. Or operator is saying that if any one condition is true, it will return you the true value. Not means it is invert the value, means if it is true, then it is return you false. If it is false, then it is return you true. Got it?
Got it?
Okay. Okay, so in the next class we move ahead. I am showing the example of the switch case. Okay, bye bye.
But